Hi. Um, I wanted to come on here and share what's been on my heart. I've been taking some time to really take in what's been happening, actively listening, taking in uh, what I need to learn and really respond from a authentic and heart-centered place. So I'm also responding to a lot of people have been reaching out to me sharing. I'm asking like what are my thoughts around this, and I wanted to honor my quiet voice big impact community and share um, what has been helping me navigate this time and how I can be of service uh, to not only our community but especially our Black community, and for us to do our part. So please bear with me. This is hard for me to articulate. I have some notes to help me stay focused, but I feel like it's necessary for me to use my voice in this way um, to be of service to um, our community, but especially this fight against racism. Okay, so again, um, if you are an introvert, an empath, highly sensitive like me, this video will help you. That's my intention. Even if you're not, this video I'm hoping will help you. First off, I want to just, before I go into, I have a lot to share, but I first wanted to say that what we're seeing in the world, especially online, it's highly emotional. So um, if you are an introvert, empath, highly sensitive, please do not allow anyone to shame you for being quiet during this time. Everyone is built to engage and contribute in their own way. And for some, it takes longer to process, especially if you are not Black. I'm Filipino American. Um, my partner is Black, and I can definitely empathize. I've experienced my own racism. However, I can never understand the depth of pain and trauma that he experiences or any other Black person experiences. So I can only share from my personal experience, but I wanted to share my thoughts to hopefully help you navigate this time, especially if you are, again, an introvert, empath, and highly sensitive. And I did want to say, I completely understand the fear of speaking up and using your voice because of this emotionally charged time. I witnessed, especially the past week, this cancel culture and how brutal it can be. Like, what if you say the wrong thing, people will like attack, and it's deeply saddening. So I understand. I personally have been like sharing posts and things as I've been listening. I've been actively sharing posts that resonate with me, and I personally have been called a bitch and to go to hell. And again, like I want to say this first and foremost: do not tolerate any sort of hate or abuse. You are entitled to your voice and your process, however you choose to process this. And but it is your God-given right to speak up and contribute in your own way. And everyone is being called in their own way. So it's up to us to take personal responsibility and decide, how can I best contribute from a pure heart, from genuine love and sincerity, right? Because people can feel your intent, right? So if you need time, take your time, educate yourself. And again, I'm going to go deeper in this, but what's most important is that you're coming from a truthful, honest, loving place, right? Okay. So first off, I thought I wanted to share a little bit about my personal experience around this. Again, not to put the focus on me, but to shed light on what it is like to be um, an introvert and an empath and highly sensitive, navigating this time. So, but again, my intention is to um, help you understand how you can best navigate this, and also if you're not highly sensitive, um, to give people grace because everyone's doing the best they can. And um, my hope is that me sharing my experience will help um, create a bridge of understanding. So, um, as an introvert and an empath and highly sensitive, first off, we have a very sensitive nervous systems. We feel people's emotions on another level. Okay, it feels um, if you don't have strong boundaries, it can feel really painful and difficult to separate what is your emotion, what is your energy versus someone else's. And there's difficulty in separating that because you genuinely care. You know, you feel like you somehow have to take on other people's emotions and pain to show that you care. And, you know, that's partly people pleasing, but it is difficult, you know, uh, being able to navigate how to separate that. So it requires a lot of presence and power and a belief in your own self-worth to be able to separate that. So I did want to share that for me, it's really taken me a long time to be able to verbalize and participate and speak on racial issues because I have always felt inherently that for me to contribute in a positive way, I had to take personal responsibility for my own healing, right? And for most of my life, but especially the past 10 years, I have been diligently focused on uh, the deep biases, limiting beliefs, quite frankly, self hatred I have against me, and to unlearn generations of uh, thinking. And being highly sensitive and being able to feel everything, plus trying to heal my own personal like traumas, generational, personal, familial, it's a lot. So I just did not have the capacity to take on other people's pain. Not that I couldn't empathize, but to be able to verbalize and articulate and, you know, be more vocal, because as an introvert, empath, highly sensitive, um, I feel so deeply. And so it's almost like how do you uh, preserve, how do you protect your own self-preservation while being there for others? And what on my journey I realized the best way for me to contribute to make a positive impact in my personal world within my own relationship with myself, I have to start with myself to make a positive impact on my personal relationships in my direct world, my family, my community, and it has to start with me. So it has been a very painful process for me to look at these things that have been caused real separation and basically like lies on like feeling unworthy and feeling um, misunderstood. Uh, there's just so many things that I have been personally going through in order to, for my own healing journey, that I knew inherently that I had to allow myself to go through this process for me to be of service to anyone else. I had to fortify myself in order to be able to engage and speak my truth and defend other people's truth in a way that felt not only real, but also authentic, you know? And so I hope that if you are an introvert, empath, highly sensitive, know that how you're naturally built means you need to advocate for yourself. Give yourself plenty of time and space to, I'm actually going to give you some practical tips, but I just generally want to say that there's nothing wrong with how you are built. And because you have such a deep capacity to feel, we have to take the responsibility to manage that energy in a way where we understand what is our power and what is not our pain, and to be able to leverage our power, to be able to use it to serve others. But we first have to be authentic to ourselves, because again, it's easy for people to judge, oh, you're not saying enough, you're being quiet. But again, you never know what people are dealing with mentally. And again, for me, I had only so much capacity to be able to literally survive in my own mind, because it was so full of deep pain, trauma, feelings of unworthiness. I could go on, but there was no other space for me to be able to extend myself to others. I could, but it was not anything sustainable. And so where I am now is I'm able to become more vocal, because again, I've taken the time to give myself grace and fortify my spirit to be able to stand here and speak from a place of real deep empathy, understanding, because I gave myself that quiet time. So wherever you are on your journey, please know that you know yourself well. If you keep your intention pure, your heart pure towards yourself, and then you allow yourself to integrate all the information that's coming in, and then engage, contribute to this fight against racism in a way that feels really authentic to you, that you showing up truly and fully expressed as you are is really how you can like really best serve. So yeah, I've had a lot of conversations recently about this, and it's just, I felt like it was important for me to explain like my personal experience. And if you're not highly sensitive, it can be easy to judge someone because you feel like they're not saying anything. But again, you don't understand like how someone is processing information. And again, give people space and grace and let them express and communicate in a way that feels authentic. And again, I feel like this time is we need to give each other more grace and understanding, that people, you can tell if someone genuinely wants to understand and genuinely wants to care. But you can also, again, that's why I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you can also tell when someone is blatantly just not interested in creating some sort of understanding, right? If it starts off as an attack, that person is really not interested in connecting. So what I'm saying to start off this video is sometimes some people need more time up front to be able to come at this in a way that feels very genuine and informed, right? So, and to give yourself grace as to what that process looks like for you if you are an introvert, an empath, or highly sensitive. Okay, so I am calling this video Quiet Activism as a Gentle Warrior. I had someone reach out and ask, is quiet activism a thing? I think it is. I really feel like quiet activism to me is when you can actively listen, you get still, you actively listen, and you educate yourself, and you're sincere and authentic in your efforts against any injustice. But right now, it is about racial injustice. It's about ending racism, right? So that's my definition. It felt that resonates with me. I just wanted to start off with that. And there's this term that I've used for years called gentle warrior that me and my friends have always resonated with. And I feel like it's this sense of like, yes, you are kind, you're empathetic, you're loving, but don't mistake that as weakness, because We have a power that, again, it comes from a deep, rich inner world of deep compassion and empathy. But we are not afraid to use our voice to stand up for truth, period. We will not tolerate hate, injustice, abuse. And we have the capacity to understand and create a bridge of understanding. However, we will not tolerate any form of hate or injustice, right? So we may not always be the most vocal, okay, the loudest in the crowd. However, because we can empathize on a very, very, very deep level, we can help educate ourselves, inform ourselves, and therefore have really objective adult conversations with people that may not completely understand, but want to, and we can engage so there is mutual respectful understanding, not attack, right? So, okay, so how I've structured the rest of this video is 3 things how you can navigate this moving forward, so you can really contribute as an introvert, empath, or highly sensitive. So first, you need to fortify yourself. And I've kind of spoke about this in the beginning. You have to be full. You have to fortify yourself. You have to fortify your spirit. You have to be strong on the inside. Feel steady and clear on the inside before you can be of any service to anyone else. In fact, being yourself fully is, well, maybe I'll save it to the end because I was going to mention that anyway, but fortify yourself because, again, because you have a highly sensitive nervous system, it is imperative that you take good care of yourself. Self-care is not a option right now. It's something that is necessary for you to feel whole, for you to feel coherent, for you to feel clear, for you to be able to take in information, right? Because again, we have such a capacity of what we can do, but the more that we are taking good care of ourselves, we can expand that capacity to take in more information. But if you are running on empty, you do not have a capacity to take in other information, other people's energy or emotions. So it's our responsibility to do that for ourselves first. So what that looks like is definitely pay attention, be present to yourself, honor your needs. Your energy is so important. Having regular quiet time to get still, whether it looks like breathing exercises, going out in nature, just getting still every day, taking a nap, resting, like that. That is imperative for you to listen to your body. Eat nourishing foods. Prioritize what gives you joy. That's a big one that I personally have been working on, and it's kind of challenging because I feel guilty to give that to myself. But the thing is, what I'm learning more and more, and God has been putting this in my spirit, that giving to yourself is necessary before you can give fully to others. To give effectively to others, you can't do that if you are on empty. So just really understand self-care is so important right now. The next thing I want to say under this is your energy is your power. So what's really important is when you take good care of yourself, the goal is for you to speak from your heart, to feel really solid on the inside so you can speak from a place of truthfulness and hope and deep understanding and empathy, right? So you have to be able to trust your discernment and really, when you take care of your energy, then you're able to express your energy in a way that comes from a really powerful place. And then you can also cultivate your own discernment, to know when to speak up and know when to rest, right? So our energy is what we're responsible for. And I was really hinting at this earlier, but being most fully self-expressed version of you is really your form of resistance. When you can show up fully, strong, uh, unapologetic is you. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean you're loud. It just means you are present and you feel really whole. That is a form of resistance, right? And that is your service to the world. So definitely prioritize, again, what gives you life and joy, so you have the capacity to serve others, so you have the capacity to speak up, right? When you're not taking good care of yourself, you don't have enough capacity to give to others, right? So the more you give to yourself, the more you can give to others. And the last thing I'll say under this section about fortifying yourself is have clear boundaries. Again, before you go on social media, first of all, don't be on social media 24/7. It's overwhelming for anybody. But when you do, have clear intention on why you're there and be very discerning on when you feel called to speak up. You're not meant to just reply to everyone. Feel into it. Even if it's scary, sometimes you read posts and it brings up emotions and you feel like, oh, I should say something. Really feel into if what you have to say would be beneficial for this conversation. Again, in discerning, is this person worth engaging with? Again, that person that I engaged with last week, that I just reposted an article, and this person straight up from the jump was like, if you believe this, Jennifer, you're a bitch. And another person's like, go to hell. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to engage with this type of person. So 2 people. So I blocked the person, deleted the comments, but that's what I'm saying. You have to be very discerning and strong within yourself to know when is the right time to speak up. When is it worth your time? Because your time and your energy are incredibly valuable, especially at this time. And why I started this off with fortify yourself, because you have to recognize how powerful your energy is, right? You have to take personal responsibility for that. So when you go engage with the world, decide, is this worth my time and energy? Is this worth speaking up for? Some things are going to make you afraid and you speak up, right? You'll know. Trust your instincts, your intuition around that. Some things are not worth speaking up for, right? You'll know in your gut what to speak up about, okay, in your own way. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, after you fortify yourself, it's important to take responsibility for your own healing and heal yourself. So you give yourself what you need, you honor your energy, you give yourself rest, you feel fortified, okay? Then we need to, this is a process, right? So give yourself grace, but we need to go on the journey of really healing ourselves. So if you are white or a non-Black person of color, we have to understand that we have privilege, okay? We do. And it is our responsibility to not only protect the people that we care about, but protect other Black people, because everyone deserves dignity, respect, a life without harm. If you're having trouble empathizing with the protests or just what you see in general right now in the world, I highly suggest you go to my personal page, Jennifer Gabiola, and I shared a post. It starts off, it's a picture of me and my sweetheart, and it's, the first line says, "This is who I love." It says, "This is who I love, and I am afraid." Please take the time to read that post, because that was very difficult for me to write, but I felt it was needed to help you understand what it's like. And really, privilege is really when you don't have to deal with certain things, that's privilege. Black people have to deal with this every day. So I would really appreciate it if you took some time to read that post. Okay, so accept that we have privilege and that is a power and a responsibility for us to protect and support our Black brothers and sisters, okay? And then the healing, again, must start with you. So take some time to examine your own bias, really from a place of objectivity and self-compassion. Give yourself grace. Notice, what are some thoughts that come up when you think about, you don't have to blame yourself or shame yourself, but notice like what biases you have against Black people. And honestly, we all have them. We were raised in a society to fear Black people. So it's our job to unlearn these things, right? So even if it's uncomfortable, look at it again from a place of compassion and love towards yourself, but also from a place of change. Make a conscious decision to change it because you genuinely want to, right? Okay, and then I also want to talk about this kindness and love and empathy is really the catalyst of how we create these bridges of understanding. It has to start with our own mind. You really have to make room in your heart to have that level of empathy and understanding and kindness before you can extend it to others. So when you engage with people, again, give other people grace and have difficult conversations, but always do it from a place of kindness and empathy. Because again, like when I think about any time in my life where I was struggling and not wanting to change, it was only when someone treated me with a level of empathy, gentleness, kindness, when I took a pause from my ego, screaming and shouting, to actually pause and go, wow, okay, I'm going to change because I can feel this person's love, right? So it has to start from us. And then the last thing I want to share under this part about taking responsibility of healing ourselves, don't lose hope. Really hold a vision in your heart and mind for this ideal world that we're all fighting for right now, because this world that's like really based on truth, love, and justice, and it is possible. We are born on this earth at this time for a reason. We are inherently built for this, or else we wouldn't be on the planet right now. So again, we're not meant to take on everything at one time. We're meant to start in our own hearts and our own minds, have difficult conversations with ourselves, with the people in our families, in our communities. It starts from there, taking one small, consistent step at a time. This is really, just going to take time. It's a process, okay? So it's really about dedicating yourselves to moving in that highest vision that we have for future generations to come. This is like, you're thinking about like your legacy, right? What can you leave behind to our children where they don't have to deal with this, right? This is how you can do your part, and don't minimize, well, I don't know if what I'm doing is enough. If you're approaching this from a pure heart of genuine understanding and care, and you're educating yourself and you want to understand, even though you're scared, that is going to help with the overall momentum of what's happening in the world, right? Okay, and then the last part of this I want to talk about, use your voice to stand up against racism. So first we started off with, fortifying yourself, right? Really honoring how you're naturally built, giving yourself what you need so you can have the capacity to help others. And then you're evaluating, okay, where are the biases in my own life, in my own community, in my own family, where I can help change that, right? And now we're going out. We started from the core you, and then we're going out to like your community. And now how can we stand up against racism on a larger scale? So again, I wanted to start off by saying, be very sincere with your efforts, right? Really take time, check in with yourself. Does this feel authentic to me to do this? Don't just post just to post because it seems like it's on trend. Don't do that. That's disingenuous, right? If you're going to contribute, if you're going to participate, do it with a genuine open heart, right? And again, it's important that you consistently speak up and use your voice, right? In whatever way you feel called to do. And again, it starts with you, and we have to go out, right? Within our direct family, our community, we have to go out. But it's about being consistent and really speaking up when you witness racism online, in real life. Really take a stand and do your part to correct. When you see a situation, it could be a comment online, it could be when you see someone on the street. Whatever you feel called to do that. But again, check yourself to make sure it's coming from a genuine place, right? Something else you can do is to educate yourself. Well, first of all, it's really important that you actively listen and educate yourself. So how you can do that is, what I've been doing is online. I've been following some Black leaders, especially Black female leaders, to educate myself, having conversations with the people in my own life to help, them help myself better understand. But definitely do the research and find like whose work you resonate with. And again, I'm going to share, I shared some posts with some resources that you could, some people you can follow, and how you can help even more on a practical level. Okay, another thing you could do is promote Black businesses, okay, by financially supporting them, buying from them, promoting them on your platform, right? Inviting them, promoting them on your podcast, just creating room, making space, creating opportunity for other Black leaders, Black influencers, just making room, right? And also supporting organizations on the front lines who are fighting racial injustice. Okay, so I have shared a post on my page, both on Instagram and Facebook, with some resources on where you can donate, where you can, how you can follow different Black leaders that I follow. It doesn't have to be those people, but I just want to give you some people that I resonate with. Also shared a post with some Black businesses that I love and appreciate, and definitely check those out, but also check out in your local community, Black businesses that you can support. And again, I also listed some organizations that are actually on the front lines fighting injustice. So, okay, I hope this is helpful. This is a longer conversation. I've been doing my 20 looks and outlooks video series for 2020, but it felt like I need to pause this week and share this video. Again, I hope this helps, and know that whatever you're feeling is normal, and do whatever you need to do to take good care of yourself first and foremost. And then when you do decide to participate and engage, do it from a pure heart. Do it from a place of genuine empathy and care for your fellow human being. Okay, Black people need to be treated the same way as all other races. We are all a part of the human race, and what is happening is all Black people deserve that level of freedom and dignity, okay? And that's what everyone is fighting for. So be easy on yourself. I will talk with you again soon. Know that my heart is with you, and it's going to take some time, but it will require our long-term commitment, and it starts with us having genuine love and care for ourselves and for our fellow Black brothers and sisters, so we can have a world that is fair and just for everyone, because we all deserve that. Okay, I'll talk with y'all soon.